All right, let's kick this off. What on earth could one of Bollywood's most rebellious filmmakers teach a tech founder? Well, it turns out a lot more than you'd think. Today, we're going to tear down the incredible career of Anurag Kashyap, and hidden inside, we're going to find this amazing blueprint for innovation, growth, and just plain survival that, honestly, any entrepreneur can use. So yeah, let's get right into it.
And look, I get it. It's a fair question, right? We're so used to getting our business advice from, CEOs in slick suits and venture capitalists, not from film directors. But stick with me here because Anurag Kashyap's journey is literally a masterclass in how to shake up an old school industry, find an audience that absolutely loves you, and just keep changing to stay on top. The parallels are, well, they're pretty mind-blowing.
So let's just translate the language here. Filmmaker to founder. A filmmaker's script, that's your business plan. It's the whole vision on paper. Casting, that's just team building, plain and simple. Getting that big box office hit, come on, that's the holy grail, product market fit. And when you hear film franchise, just think scalable ecosystem. You see, the words are different, but the challenges, they're exactly the same. All right, so every great venture starts right here. This is phase one, the messy, experimental phase. It's all about throwing things at the wall, testing your gut feeling, figuring out who your people are, and, proving that somebody out there actually wants what you're making. And for Anurag Kashyap, this whole process started way, way before he ever directed his first big movie. Before he ever thought about spending a ton of money on a huge film, Kashyap was in the trenches, testing his ideas. He was doing short films, theater, telling these super raw, real stories about gritty characters. This was his minimum viable product, his MVP. It was a super smart, low-risk way to find his unique voice and figure out what actually resonated with people before he bet the entire farm. And all that testing, all that experimenting, it's all leading to one thing, the holy grail of the startup world, product market fit, or PMF. This is that incredible moment when everything just clicks. You finally built something that a specific group of people don't just want, they need. It's the difference between you desperately pushing your product on people and them suddenly pulling it right out of your hands. And for Anurag Kashyap, that click moment was the film Black Friday. This movie faced all sorts of problems. Censorship, delays, you name it. But when it finally got out there, it proved, without a shadow of a doubt, that there was a hungry audience just waiting for his style of raw, unfiltered, realistic filmmaking. Boom! He found his niche, he found his people, and he had undeniable proof that they were starving for more.
Okay, so you found your fit. Amazing. But now what? The next massive challenge is always growth. How do you take that first taste of success and blow it up into something huge? For Kashyap, this was all about taking that foundation he'd built and figuring out how to reach a whole new level of audience.
The way they launched DevD was just genius. You have to remember, this was 2009. The internet was really starting to become this massive cultural force, and Kashyap's team got it. They totally understood it. The film's soundtrack just exploded online. It went viral, creating this incredible digital buzz. They were talking directly to a younger audience in their own space. It was a perfect lesson in how to launch a product in the modern age. And then came the big one. His most ambitious project yet. See, Gangs of Wasseypur was never just meant to be a single movie. From day one, it was designed to be an epic, a franchise, a whole world you could get lost in. This is that critical mindset shift from I'm making a product to I'm building an entire ecosystem. The strategy here was just so smart. He had this massive, epic story. And instead of chopping it down to fit into a normal 2-hour movie, he made a super bold call. He split it into 2 films. And think about what that does. Suddenly you've doubled your marketing. You've doubled your time in the theaters. You've massively expanded your reach. And you did it all without watering down the story. He scaled the business without sacrificing the product. But here's the thing, and every founder knows this. Markets never, ever stand still. Technology changes, the way people buy things changes. The most successful companies and creators are the ones who see that change coming. They're the ones who can pivot, who can adapt their whole game plan, not just to survive, but to actually come out stronger on the other side. Kashyap's big pivot moment was Sacred Games. He was watching the rise of streaming platforms like Netflix, and he saw exactly what was happening. People weren't just going to the movies anymore. Their habits were changing. They were binge-watching entire seasons on their couches. So instead of fighting that change, he leaned right into it. He jumped from the old world of cinema into the wild, creative freedom of digital streaming. I mean, you can literally map his career against the evolution of media. He started with these really focused stories, almost like old-timey radio plays. Then he found his voice in film with Black Friday. Then he totally cracked the code of the internet with DevD. And finally, he conquered the streaming age with Sacred Games. Every single time the technology shifted, he was right there, evolving with it.
So after all that, what does this actually mean for you, for your startup? Well, when you boil his entire journey down, what you're left with is a super clear, actionable playbook. It's like the core DNA of any successful, game-changing business.
Okay, here are the 5 big lessons. 1, experiment boldly, just like he did with his early plays and short films. 2, obsess over finding your product market fit, that Black Friday moment where it all clicks. 3, master your launch. Understand the culture, use the tools you have, just like they did with DevD's music. 4, scale with a strategy. Don't just make another product, build an entire world like Gangs of Wasseypur. And number 5, when the world changes, pivot. Pivot fearlessly, just like he did when he jumped into streaming with Sacred Games.
At the end of the day, what Anurag Kashyap's career really shows us is that building a startup, it's an act of storytelling. You have to create a story that people believe in, find your audience, and be willing to change how you tell that story as the world around you changes. So the final question is pretty simple. Your startup is your story. Are you ready to direct it?